The Book of Mirdad, Chapter 21. The Holy Omniwill. Why things happen as they do, and when they do. Mirdad speaks. How strange that you, children of time and space, are not aware as yet that time is the universal memory inscribed on the tablets of space. If you, being limited by the senses, can yet remember certain things between your birth and death, how much more so can time which was before your birth and lasts indefinitely beyond your death? I say to you that time remembers everything at all, not only that of which you have a vivid recollection, but that as well of which you are entirely unaware. For there is no oblivion in time, no, not of the slightest movement, or breath, or whim. And all that is kept in the memory of time is graven deep upon the things in space. The very earth you tread, the very air you breathe, the very houses you dwell in can readily reveal to you the most minute details in the records of your lives, past, present, and to come, had you but the stamina to read and the keenness to grasp the meaning. In life as in death, on earth as beyond the earth, you never are alone, but are in constant company of things and beings which have their share in your life and death, as you have yours in their life and death. As you partake of them, so they partake of you, and as you seek them, so they seek you. Man has a will in everything, and each thing has a will in man. The interchange goes on uninterrupted, but a woefully bad accountant is the failing memory of man. Not so the faultless memory of time, which keeps a most exact account of man's relations with his fellow men and all the other beings in the universe, and forces him to settle his accounts each twinkling of an eye, life after life, and death after death. A thunderbolt would never strike a house, except that house draw it to thyself. The house is as much to account for its ruin as the bolt. A bull would never gore a man, except that man invite the bull to gore him. And verily that man is more to answer for his blood than is the bull. The murdered whets the dagger of the murderer, and both deliver the fatal thrust. The robbed directs the movements of the robber, and both commit the robbery. Man invites his own calamities, and then protests against the irksome guests, having forgotten how and when and where he penned and sent out the invitations. But time does not forget, and time delivers in due season each invitation to the right address, and time conducts each invitee to the dwelling of the host. I say to you, protest not any guest, lest he avenge his slighted pride by tarrying too long, or by making his visits more frequent than otherwise he would consider meet. Be kind and hospitable to all your guests, whatever be their mien and their behavior, for they in truth are but your creditors. Give the obnoxious ones in particular even more than is their due, that they may go away thankful and satisfied, and should they visit you again, they would come back as friends and not as creditors. Treat every guest as if he were the guest of honor, that you may gain his confidence and learn the hidden motives of his call. Accept a misfortune as if it were a fortune, for a misfortune once understood is soon transformed into a fortune, while a fortune misconstrued quickly becomes a misfortune. You choose your birth and death, their time and place, and their manner as well, despite your wayward memory, which is a mesh of falsehoods with glaring holes and gaps. The would-be wise declare that men have no part whatsoever in their birth and death. The indolent, who squint at time and space through the narrow socket of the eye, would readily dismiss most happenings in time and space as accidents. Beware of their conceit and deceit, my companions. There are no accidents in time and space, but all things are ordered by the Omniwill, which neither errs in anything, nor overlooks a thing. As drops of rain gather themselves in springs, and springs flow out to meet in brooks and rivulets, the rivulets and brooks offer themselves as tributaries to the larger streams, and mighty streams carry their waters to the seas, and seas assemble in the greater ocean. So does every will of every creature, inanimate or animate, flow as tributary into the Omniwill. I say to you that everything has will, even the stone, apparently so deaf and dumb and lifeless, is not without a will, else would it not have been, and would it not affect a thing, and nothing would affect it. Its consciousness of willing and of being may differ in degree from that of man, but not in substance. How much of the life of a single day can you in truth assert you are conscious of? A very trifling part indeed. If you, equipped with brains and memories and means of recording emotions and thoughts, are yet unconscious of the major part of a single day living, why do you wonder what the stone is so unconscious of, its life and will? And as you live and move so much without being conscious of living and moving, so do you will as much without being conscious of willing. But the Omniwill is conscious of your unconsciousness and that of every creature in the universe, in redistributing itself, as its wont at every moment of time and every point of space. The Omniwill gives back to every man and everything whatever they had willed, no more, no less, whether they willed it consciously or otherwise. But men, not knowing that, are but too oft dismayed by what falls to their lot from the all-containing bag of the Omniwill. And men protest in dejection and blame their dismay upon the fickle fate. It is not fate, O monks, that is fickle, for fate is but another name of the Omniwill. It is man's will that is as yet too fickle and too fitful and too uncertain of its course. It dashes east today and west tomorrow. Here it stamps this thing as good and decries this there as an evil. Now it accepts this man as a friend, only to fight him later as an enemy. Your will must not be fickle, my companions. Know that all your relationships with all things and men are determined by what you will of them, and they of you. And what you will of men and things determines what they will of you. Therefore said I to you before, and say it now, be careful how you breathe and how you speak, and what you wish and think and do. For your will is hid in every breath and every word, and every wish and thought and deed. And what is hid from you is always manifest to the Omniwill. Do not will of any man a pleasure that is to him a pain, lest your pleasure pain you more than pain. Nor will of anything a good that is to it an evil, lest you be willing evil to yourselves. But will of all men and all things their love, for with it only shall your veils be lifted, and understanding drawn within your heart, and thus initiate your will into the wondrous mysteries of the Omniwill. Till you grow conscious of all things, you cannot be conscious of their will in you, nor of your will in them. Till you are conscious of your will in all things, and of their will in you, you cannot know the mysteries of the Omniwill. Until you know the mysteries of the Omniwill, you must not set your will against it, for surely you shall be the loser. You shall come out of each encounter scarred and drunk with gall, and you shall seek revenge only to add new scars to the old and make the cup of gall overflow. I say to you, accept the Omniwill if you would turn defeat to victory. Accept without a murmur all the things that fall to you from its mysterious bag. Accept them in gratitude and in the faith that they are your just and due share in the Omniwill. Accept them from and with the will to understand their value and their meaning. And once you understand the hidden ways of your own will, you understand the Omniwill. Accept what you do not know, that it may help you to know it. Resent it, and it shall remain an irritating puzzle. Let your will be a maid to the Omniwill, till understanding make the Omniwill a servant to your will. So taught I Noah, so I teach you.